everyone. Welcome to Wealth Revolution, where we share the most valuable insights on the biggest wealth transfer of our lifetime. My name is Justin.
And I'm Sarah.
Today we're looking at something called the Great Wealth Transfer.
Oh yeah, I've heard that term thrown around. What's it all about?
Basically, trillions of dollars are going to be moving from older generations to Millennials and Gen Z.
Okay, so like inheritances and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why this is so interesting for the crypto world.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a big deal. Younger people seem way more into crypto than like my parents' generation.
That's the idea. So to figure all this out, we've got some research reports from various sources.
Oh, cool. Any big names talking about this?
Actually, yeah. We'll be looking at some things Mike Novogratz has said about this whole thing.
That's cool. He's pretty well known in the crypto space.
For sure. So first, to get a handle on things, we have to understand just how much money we're talking about.
Yeah, you said trillions, but just how much is that really?
Well, Cerulli Associates put out an estimate. And get this, they say it's going to be something like $84.4 trillion.
84.4 trillion. Dang. That's like more than most countries' entire economy.
Right. Crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets kind of interesting. Right now, all that wealth, it's not spread out evenly.
You're telling me. Seems like most of it is with the older generations.
Exactly. So baby boomers and the generations before them, they actually hold about 2/3 of the wealth in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah. But they only make up like less than 1/3 of the population.
So millennials and Gen Z, even though there are a ton of them, they don't have much of the money yet.
Right. But that's going to change big time with this wealth transfer.
Makes sense. So how does crypto fit into all of this?
Well, it's all about how different generations think about money.
Right. I mean, older folks, they might stick with what they know, like stocks and bonds.
Exactly. But millennials and Gen Z, they're basically digital natives.
True. Grew up with the internet and all that, so crypto probably feels more natural to them.
And there are some numbers that actually back this up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So some surveys have shown that millennials are like 3 to 5 times more likely to own crypto than baby boomers.
Wow, that's a big difference, like way more likely.
Yeah. And there's this one estimate that says that around 45% of millennials actually own some kind of crypto, compared to like only 10% of baby boomers.
So less than half of millennials, but still, that's a huge gap between them and the older generation.
Definitely. So why do you think there's such a difference between the generations on this?
I mean, it could be a bunch of things, right? Millennials, they saw the whole 2008 financial crisis happen.
Yeah, good point. That definitely shook a lot of people's trust in the traditional financial system.
Exactly. And on top of that, they've got like student debt and crazy expensive housing.
Ugh, tell me about it. All that makes it hard to just rely on the old ways of doing things.
Yeah, for sure. So it makes sense they'd be more open to trying something new like crypto.
It's like they're looking for a different way, a system that feels, more fair and open.
Yeah. And crypto, with its whole decentralized thing, it kind of fits that bill, right? It's like not controlled by the big banks and institutions.
Right. So it's not just about rebelling or being different. It's like they're genuinely looking for something better, something that fits their values.
I see what you mean. It's not just about getting rich quick. It's about changing the whole game.
That's it. And if all this pans out like people are predicting, it could seriously change how the entire crypto world works.
It could totally transform things, yeah. So, it really makes you think this wealth transfer thing, it could like change the whole DNA of the crypto world.
That's an interesting way to put it. So it's not just about individual people buying Bitcoin.
Exactly. It's like a whole new way of looking at how crypto works, how we use it, all of that.
So like what's an example? What could this new crypto world actually look like?
Okay, so imagine this. DeFi.
DeFi.
Yeah, it stands for decentralized finance.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in plain English, what does that even mean?
It's kind of like taking all the stuff that banks do, lending, borrowing, and doing it, but without the banks.
Really? So no more going to the bank for a loan?
That's the idea. It all happens on the blockchain, so it's way more transparent.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty out there.
Right. And that's just one thing. We could see something called tokenization take off, too.
Tokenization, another new word.
I know. It basically means like turning real-world stuff, like houses or even art, into digital tokens on a blockchain.
Wait, so you could own like a piece of a house through crypto?
Potentially, yeah. It opens up a whole new world of investing.
Okay, now this is where I get a little lost. How would that even work?
It's a bit technical, but basically these tokens would represent ownership or value tied to those real-world assets.
So this wealth transfer thing, it's not just about money moving around, it's like sparking new ideas and stuff.
Exactly. And, with all this new stuff happening, regulators are going to have to pay attention.
That makes sense. They can't just ignore crypto anymore, right?
Nope. They're going to have to create rules, make things safer for everyone.
So maybe we're not all going to wake up tomorrow as crypto millionaires,
But the whole financial world could look different.
it's kind of exciting, but a bit overwhelming too.
Definitely. There's going to be a lot of change to keep up with, but, not every millennial is like a hardcore crypto fan.
True. Some people are still going to be hesitant and scared of the ups and downs.
Exactly. I mean, I tried explaining Bitcoin to my aunt once, and let's just say it did not go well.
I've been there. But even if everyone isn't jumping on the crypto train, wouldn't all this new wealth influence what happens?
100%. Think about it. Millennials, they care about things like the environment, social justice, all that.
Yeah, they're definitely more conscious of those kinds of things than older generations.
Right. So what if they start investing in crypto projects that actually align with their values?
So like crypto projects that focus on renewable energy or fighting climate change, things like that.
Exactly. It could be a huge force for good, and not just in finance.
Okay, now you're really getting me thinking. So this isn't just about money, it's about values and...
It's about a whole new way of doing things, like a societal shift.
Wow, this is way bigger than I even realized at first. So what else could this wealth transfer shake up? So we've talked about trillions of dollars, maybe going into crypto, maybe changing the whole financial system. But you said this could have ripple effects, like beyond just investments, right?
Yeah, definitely. Think about philanthropy, for example. Millennials and Gen Z, they really seem to care about making a difference.
You're saying they could take all that inherited money and put it towards causes they believe in.
Totally. It's like impact investing on a massive scale. They could choose to put their money into things that actually align with their values.
So not just donating to charities, but actually investing in like renewable energy projects or companies fighting climate change.
That's it. And, they're really good with technology.
Now the whole digital native thing.
Right. So they could come up with completely new ways to do philanthropy using online platforms and stuff. It could be really cool to see what they come up with.
It's like they're not waiting for permission to change things. They're just going to do it. They've got the resources and they know how to use technology to make things happen.
Exactly. And that kind of energy, it could spill over into politics, too.
Politics. Okay, I'm really curious. How would that work?
Well, imagine a generation that grew up with the internet suddenly having a ton of political power.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
They're probably going to push for things that are important to them, like data privacy, sustainability, making sure things are more fair for everyone.
So like a whole new set of priorities for the government.
Exactly. It could even lead to like a rethinking of how government works. Millennials and Gen Z, they seem pretty comfortable with the idea of decentralization.
Yeah, I see what you mean. They've grown up with that in the tech world.
Right. So maybe they'll push for more decentralized forms of government too. And who knows, maybe crypto could even play a role in that.
Wow, from changing how we invest to how we give back, and now maybe even how we govern ourselves. That's a lot of change.
It is. I mean, we're talking about a transfer of power and wealth unlike anything we've seen before.
Makes you kind of wonder what the world's going to look like in 20 years,
It's going to be fascinating, that's for sure. And it's not all going to be easy. There are going to be challenges along the way.
Yeah, that's true. So what can people do, like right now, to get ready for all this?
I think the most important thing is to stay curious. Keep learning about new things, especially all this tech stuff.
Makes sense. Whether you're into crypto or not, it's going to be a big part of the future.
And it's not just about technology. It's about being open to new ideas, new ways of doing things.
So basically, we got to stay flexible and adaptable.
Right. That's it. The future is coming, whether we're ready for it or not. But we can at least try to understand what's going on.
That's a great point. Well, thanks for walking us through all this. It's been a wild ride.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about this stuff.
And for everyone listening, thanks for joining us for this discussion. It's been a fascinating look at the great wealth transfer. And I hope you learned something new. Who knows what the future holds, but it's definitely going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Stay curious out there, folks.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.